Shalom from Israel to all of the Daystar viewers around the world. I'm Moshe Bar Tzvi, the producer and founder of Israel Now News. We at Israel Now News are dedicated to bringing you the full story and the truth about Israel from Israel. It's written in the Holy Bible when David said in Psalm 25:5, "Lead me in your truth and teach me, for you are the God of my salvation. For you I wait all the day long." And God says in Zechariah 8:16, "These are the things that you shall do. Speak out the truth to one another. Judge with truth and judgment to peace in your gates. And always search for the truth, and the truth shall set you free." John 8:31. I hope you enjoyed the program. God bless you from Jerusalem. Shalom, shalom.
Welcome to Israel Now News. I'm Yochanan El Rom.
And I'm Erin Viner.
In our top story, Christians have helped several Jews in Ukraine to escape to Israel. The International Christian Embassy, Jerusalem, has provided emergency funds to evacuate 19 Ukrainian Jews to Israel. Jürgen Buehler, the executive director of the ICEJ, said the unfolding crisis in Ukraine has meant an even more uncertain future for the Jewish community there, and he has acted swiftly once again to bring needy and endangered Jews home from this troubled region. Buehler went on to say that it will be a privilege for his staff to welcome this first group. He said his organization has been working feverishly to raise enough money to fund the immigration of 100 Ukrainian Jews to Israel, and he hopes that the 19 that arrived last Sunday are just the first to find their way back to their promised land.
The leader of the Boko Haram terror group has released a statement confirming that his organization is responsible for the kidnapping of 223 Nigerian schoolgirls and that he plans to sell them as human slaves. Armed gunmen abducted the young girls after storming their dormitories in the middle of the night last month. Boko Haram is a violent Islamist terrorist group that has waged war on secular education as well as the Christian population in the African nation. They are responsible for the deaths of thousands of people in hundreds of terror attacks. The group's leader, Abu Bakr Shekau, released a video to the Nigerian media addressing the parents of the kidnapped girls, admitting to having abducted them, and saying that those who admitted to being Christian have been forcefully converted to Islam and will be sold as child brides. He said that there is a market for selling humans and that Allah says I should sell, so I will sell the girls.
Iran has denied inspectors from the International Atomic Energy Agency access to the Parchin nuclear facility. A statement released by the Iranian Atomic Energy Organization said the IAEA is not entitled to visit Parchin since Tehran has not accepted and is not exercising the additional protocol to the Non-Proliferation Treaty. The UN Nuclear Watchdog Agency has strong suspicions that Iran is using the Parchin site to develop nuclear weapons. Israel has repeatedly requested that the international community ratchet up the sanctions against the hardline Islamic Republic that has repeatedly threatened to wipe Israel off the map. Israel holds credible intel that Tehran is merely stalling the P5+1 nations while it races to create a nuclear weapon to use on the Jewish state.
Iran has banned its citizens from using Facebook and the WhatsApp platforms because it's claiming that the company's founder, Mark Zuckerberg, is an American Zionist, according to a statement released by the head of the Islamic Republic's Committee on Internet Crimes. The United States Commission on Religious Freedom responded with shock at Iran's anti-Semitism, saying that despite the election of a new and purportedly moderate president, the already poor conditions of religious freedom continue to deteriorate, particularly for religious minorities.
Egypt's Sinai Desert was rocked last week by 3 suicide bombings in a single day. Egyptian police officers were the targets of the attacks, which left 1 dead and 3 badly wounded. The Army and Egyptian security services have been waging war against the Muslim Brotherhood and al-Qaeda operating in Egypt. This wave of violence comes just days after a court in Cairo convicted the head of the Egyptian Muslim Brotherhood and hundreds of its members on terrorism charges.
Numerous British news outlets are reporting that 11 Muslims with ties to al-Qaeda have been arrested by Malaysian authorities for their suspected involvement in the disappearance of Malaysian Flight 370. Authorities in Kuala Lumpur say that they've been investigating Islamic groups who have been operating under the guise of being humanitarian organizations. A senior officer from the Malaysian Counterterrorism Unit released a statement saying that the possibility that the plane was diverted by militants is high. He went on to say that international investigators have asked for a comprehensive report on the Islamic terror groups who masquerade as humanitarian organizations in Malaysia.
The death toll from last week's devastating mudslide in northeastern Afghanistan has topped 2,000 people. In addition, another 4,000 people have been left homeless. Torrential rains in the area triggered several small landslides, and then, according to witnesses, the entire side of the mountain collapsed. Hundreds of homes were destroyed, and several hundred people were injured by the enormous mudslide. The governor of the province released a statement saying the tragedy claimed more than 2,100 lives from 300 families.
A 20-year-old Israeli girl was abducted and brutally murdered last week in what Israeli authorities believe to be a terror attack. More than 1,000 people attended a funeral for Shelley Dagan in the tightly knit community of Migdal HaEmek last week, where her father lamented that Shelley's only sin was being Jewish, which made her a target for terrorists. Shelley was publicly mourned twice last week, once by her family and friends, and again the following day by the entire nation of Israel, who grieved her death along with those of 23,169 fallen soldiers and victims of terrorism. Yochanan has more on that story.
Yes, Aaron, the nation of Israel literally stood still Sunday night to remember those who paid the ultimate price for our freedom. Official Memorial Day services on Monday also began with a siren heard throughout the entire country. Cars pulled to the sides of roads, children in classrooms stood at attention, and all routine activity ceased for 2 minutes as Israel mourned its fallen heroes. Israeli Defense Minister Moshe Ya'alon, in a letter to bereaved families, said the air raid sirens that pierce the air on Remembrance Day will be the sign that transforms personal loss into everyone's loss. He added that it seems that there is no Israeli citizen who has not experienced bereavement, whether personal or through knowing friends who fell. This year, 57 names were added to the list of fallen heroes.
Israel proudly celebrated its 66th year of independence with the knowledge that there are more than 8 million Israeli citizens living free in the Jewish state. The Central Bureau of Statistics released its annual report on the eve of Independence Day, reflecting a 2% increase of 157,000 people. 178,000 babies were born over the past year, and 24,000 people immigrated to the country. 2,600 years ago, Ezekiel prophesied the return of the Jewish people to their land and the recreation of their state in a single day. On May 14, 1948, the United Nations announced the establishment of a Jewish homeland in Israel. On that day, there were 806,000 Jews living in the land. Today, there are more than 6 million Jews thriving in Israel.
One of the time-honored traditions of Israeli Independence Day is the International Bible Quiz attended by the Prime Minister. 16 outstanding candidates were selected out of 71 contestants from 33 countries to take part in the 2014 Israeli Bible Quiz. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu told this year's participants that the Bible is not just the foundation of our existence, it is also the foundry that ignites the flame of Zionism in everything that we do in the State of Israel. Rabbi Shai Piron, Minister of Education, encouraged the contestants to make the Bible their conscience and compass. He said the Bible is not meant for your bookshelf, but for your backpack. Take it with you when you explore the land of Israel. Take it with you to work and learn the laws of fair trade. Come home with it and learn how important it is to respect your parents. The education minister went on to say that he is doing everything possible to connect the Bible to the hearts of people, to make it a way of life, and to give it a place of honor at a time when the identity of Israeli youth is being shaped and formulated. This year's winner was an 18-year-old student from Canada.
A research and development company near Jerusalem has announced that it has developed a blood test capable of detecting breast cancer. Aventis Diagnostics says that their test is an inexpensive, accurate method of diagnosing the disease. The company's president, Dr. Marvin Rosenberg, says that more than 30% of patients' cases are misdiagnosed by the mammogram test, which also exposes the patient to radiation. A statement released by Aventis says that researchers have long realized that profiling the antibody repertoire of the immune system could potentially detect cancer in its early stages, even before that cancer is clinically evident. These findings led Aventis DX scientists to develop methods to accurately identify these breast cancer-specific autoantibodies that could be used for early detection of the disease. And that concludes the news portion of our show. Stay tuned for Ask the Source with Josh Reinstein.
Hello and welcome to Ask the Source. I'm your host, Josh Reinstein, and we're here once again on our beautiful rooftop studio in Jerusalem. My guest today is Oded Pellis, the Educational Director of Jerusalem Journey. Oded, thank you for being on the show.
Thank you, Josh. Thank you for having me.
Oded, tell our viewers a little bit about what is Jerusalem Journey.
First of all, thank you for the opportunity to be here. Jerusalem Journey is an educational tourist company based here in Israel. We educate mainly Christian tourists who come to enjoy the treasures of Israel.
Why Christian tourists?
Well, we believe that we are in a special time where it's time for Christians to get to know the Holy Land, to come and experience the land where Jesus lived, did his ministries.
You know, you put a lot of emphasis on the educational aspect of the tour rather than the actual tourist sites themselves. Why is education so important when people are coming here for a tour?
Well, because we believe that people have to come here because this place can change their life. It's one thing if they come on a bus from the airport to the important sites without really experiencing, learning, having unique encounters with the place. This is why we want to educate them about what Jesus did here, where he lived, his ministries, experience the people that live here and live it through with us, go through the whole experience with us.
You know, you put a lot of emphasis also on Jerusalem itself. Why is Jerusalem so important to Christian tourists?
Well, Jerusalem is important because that's the center of one of the centers of the Christian religion. It's the center of the Jewish religion. We always pray for Jerusalem. Some of the most important Christian sites are in Jerusalem. Jesus did his ministries and some of his most important teachings in Jerusalem. He died, he was resurrected here in Jerusalem. This is where it all happened, and we want people to experience this unbelievable, powerful place.
You know, you're a Jewish organization, yet you do a lot of education about Christianity. What gives you the ability to teach on such a subject matter?
Well, first of all our educators are well versed in the Old Testament, in the New Testament. They're very familiar with Christian life and people. I myself have many Christian friends. I celebrate their festivals and holidays with them. They come to my home to celebrate my festivals together. We also believe that this is a very important mission at this time in our history, in the history of Christianity and Judaism, for Jews and Christians to get together, to understand one another, to bridge between the two religions.
We see that in the 21st century, Jews and Christians are coming together around the world in an unprecedented burst of activity. Why do you think the time is now that Jews and Christians are united?
You know, Josh, 70 years ago we were all in a completely different world and situation in history. Now, when we have the state of Israel, when we live here, when the prophecies of the prophets are coming alive with us, around us, it's all happening. It's a better time, it's a time of peace, of abilities to get together, to understand one another, to really get to know one another much better, to experience one another, each other's religion and faith. And it's a real time for peace and understanding one another. It's the fulfillment of the prophecies, of all the prophecies of the prophets.
You know, other than the educational aspect, what makes your company different than the other tourism companies around Israel?
Well, we we do education in a way that it will change people's life. We don't believe in just coming here on a bus and visiting the different sites. We believe in meeting the people, in real encounters with people that live here, with Christians that live here, with Jewish people that live here. We want Christians to come here and celebrate with us our Shabbat, our festivals, our holidays. We want them to meet the youth here. We want them to come out of this country in a way that will change their life. They will go back to their homes. They will understand their religion much better, the Jewish religion much better, the Israelis in a better way. The encounters and the education we do is real, is effective, is very, very unique and special.
Oded, there are literally tens of millions of people watching this show. What message do you have for our viewing audience?
I say, come and experience this place. You know, Neil Armstrong, when he was standing on the stairs not far from here, the stairs of the southern steps of the Temple Mount, he said that those steps were more important for him to walk on than when he walked on the moon. This is where everything happened. Come and experience this unbelievable place. It will change your life. It will change the life of your communities. If you're a pastor, if you're a leader, bring your community. Come yourself. Experience this amazing place where Jesus lived, where Jewish people live today, where there are Christians here, the important sites are here, and come and have this most amazing experience with us.
Thank you, Oded, for being on the show, and thank you for tuning in to Ask the Source. I'm your host, Josh Reinstein. Now back to the studio.
I'm standing in downtown Jerusalem. This is my 73rd trip to Israel. I take groups. I enjoy coming to Israel because it seems like home. All of my friends here say welcome home. It is home though, because it's the home of my culture, it's the home of my upbringing, and it's the home of Christianity and Judaism. Those two go hand in hand. Jesus, of course, is my personal Savior. And as I bring groups here, I talk about why they should come. Every Christian should come to Israel at least once. And once you come once, you'll want to come back again. Once you're in Israel, you read the Bible from a different perspective. Before then, it's in black and white. After you visit Israel, it's in vivid color. Color because you walk the streets where the patriarchs walked, and you walk the streets where Jesus walked. Up north, around the Sea of Galilee, 80% of everything that's in the Bible about Jesus, that Jesus did, that he was involved in, happened around the Sea of Galilee. But the last 7 days of Jesus' life was right here in Jerusalem, and that's where we get our real meaning of Christianity. Some people say that Christianity is defined by Jesus' birth. It's not, though. Christianity is defined by Easter. Easter is what happened the last 7 days of Jesus' life. You need to come. You need to come to Israel.
This is Jerusalem, Israel's capital city. It's an ancient and modern treasure that is beyond belief. There's a little bit of Israel in all of us. Come find the Israel in you.
Up next, shining light from Israel.
Greetings from Jerusalem. Israel's Independence Day is a time for great celebration and for justified reasons. We take great pride in Israel's many amazing successes. For some 2,000 years, the Jewish people had been stateless, powerless, and defenseless. After 2 millennia, we returned to our historic homeland, ingathered the exiles, reestablished our independence and our sovereignty. Yet we didn't only create a state, we have brought into this homeland a people that has been scattered around the globe. We have defended ourselves against the attacks of hostile neighbors, overcoming threats faced by no other country. We've built a vibrant democracy in which freedom is sacrosanct. We guarantee equality under the law and the rights for every one of our citizens, Jew and non-Jew alike. We've created a robust economy, a global technological superpower. We've signed peace treaties with 2 of our Arab neighbors, while we quietly talk with many more. And while doing all this, we've enjoyed the passionate support of so many friends around the world, Jews and non-Jews alike. All of you who have united to speak out for Israel's right to live in a secure and peaceful state. This support from friends like you warms our hearts. And along with Israel's vibrant democracy, our dynamic free economy, our strong army, our commitment to our shared values, all this forms the foundation of our national strength. So on this Independence Day, I want to thank Israel's many friends around the world for your steadfast support for the one and only Jewish state. Thank you.
Anywhere else, this would be a vacation by a lake. But this is the Sea of Galilee. The wonders of Israel are beyond belief. There's a little bit of Israel in all of us. Come find the Israel in you.
Please stay tuned for the ICEJ report from the International Christian Embassy, Jerusalem.
Every year in spring, sirens sound throughout Israel and life comes to a complete stop for 2 minutes as Israelis around the country pause to remember the tragedy of the Holocaust. Israeli dignitaries and foreign leaders gather in the Warsaw Ghetto Square Memorial at Yad Vashem to honor the 6 million slain victims of the Holocaust.
I have with me today Ms. Susanna Kokkonen, the director of the Christian desk at Yad Vashem, and it's a great joy and a great pleasure to have you with us. Welcome on our show today.
Thank you.
Susanna, tell me, Yad Vashem made a strategic decision some years ago, which Yad Vashem, our listeners need to know that it's the biggest institution here in the land to commemorate the Holocaust. And they made a decision just a few years ago to establish a Christian desk here at Yad Vashem. This is a historic step for Yad Vashem, isn't it?
Well, yes, it is. Many Christians since the 1990s had been coming to Yad Vashem. We had movies like the Schindler's List coming out, and people were really interested in having a program at Yad Vashem when visiting. And there wasn't anything specifically for them. And so in 2006, in cooperation with the ICEJ, Yad Vashem established the Christian Friends of Yad Vashem, a Christian department here at Yad Vashem. And now we have programs for Christians, and we invite them to join us in all of the special events and commemorations, as well as to learn more about the Holocaust.
Well, to think that the institution which commemorates the biggest atrocity which we Christians did to the Jewish people, that they have a Christian desk, was it an easy decision for them to do that?
Well, it was a very big decision, so big in fact that they needed the permission of the Israeli Prime Minister. At the time it was Ehud Olmert, and he gladly gave it, knowing the ICEJ and the ICEJ's work. And so Yad Vashem was able to start this activity. Initially nobody really knew what it was going to be, what precisely would this department be doing, but now it's becoming more and more a very established part of Yad Vashem's daily activity.
Again, I want to invite you to support Yad Vashem and the very important cause of this great institution. Become a blesser of Israel and become somebody who reaches to the very heart of the Jewish nation. The Bible says, I will bless those who bless thee. I will return the blessing which you bestow upon my people. And God promises a special blessing to us as we reach the wounded soul of Israel, which is found here at Yad Vashem, commemorating the death of more than 6 million Jews 70 years ago. Visit our website at www.icej.tv and become a blessing for Israel. May the Lord bless you richly here out of Zion.
Please consider supporting the work of the Christian Desk at Yad Vashem. Become a friend of Yad Vashem with a donation of $25. Adopt a tree commemorating the righteous among the nations for a $100 donation. Or for a $1,000 donation, help us to record the testimonies of Holocaust survivors from around the world.
What an exciting place to be, what an exciting place to visit. I'm talking to you about the land of Israel, the place where Jesus was born, and Jesus did his full ministry and went up to heaven. We'll come back one day to this very same land. Now you have the opportunity to come and visit this place in the summer tour 2014. This place is colorful, it's tasty, it opens the Bible in a new way, and it is very diverse. I will give you a small tour. Now we're in the desert. The beach, culture, history, big city life, awesome food. Israel is not just camels, hummus, and desert. Israel is also modern society, and one of the examples is the city of Tel Aviv, having beautiful beaches like this. In the summertime, these beaches are packed, and you can enjoy also this beautiful beach when we come to the summer tour, to this exact same place. So come along the summer tour 2014 to enjoy the land of Israel.
That's all for this edition of Israel Now News. I'm Yochanan El-Rom.
And I'm Erin Viner, reporting from our studio in Jerusalem. Please join us again next week for all your Israel updates.